I know I've said this a million times, but this might be the most fun rebuild/experiment I've ever done. Because today, I retired every single NFL quarterback, including free agents. And we are gonna see what would happen in Madden if every quarterback was retired. And I actually have two ways that we're gonna do this. We'll check in a second if it lets me simulate the week, but if not, I have a plan, which could possibly be even more fun. But I'll explain what that is and we'll get into this in just a second. But super quick, the reason we are doing this is because we easily hit a like goal on a recent video. I guess it wasn't that recent, I just forgot that I said I would do this. So we are finally doing it. And if we can get to 3,000 likes on this video, I have an even more extreme version of this planned, which I'm sure you could figure out, and it would probably take me an eternity to set up, so I'm kind of questioning if I should do it, but if we can hit 3,000 likes, I'll do it. And of course, subscribe for more, because if you like videos or ideas like this, or just Madden rebuilds, that's literally all I do on the channel, trying to hit 60K by the end of the month. Let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all have down below. I normally do shoutouts, and I normally get video ideas from comments, but this is just something I came up with. But yeah, let me know any fun rebuild ideas down below. And last thing, if you like more realistic type rebuilds, I'm rebuilding every team on the second channel. Link in the description. The most recent one is the Bears, and once we hit 1,000 likes on that, I'll do the Lions. But that's enough plugging. And without further ado, let's get into, like I said, what is possibly the most chaotic experiment idea I've ever had. And how we're gonna do this is, just in case, let me make a save file real quick, because I have a feeling this might crash the game, because I feel like I've done stuff similar just in my own time to see what would happen, and I don't think the game liked it. So let's simulate a week. I think what could happen if it doesn't freak out is it will just start kickers for every team, or punters, because that's the position it forces on every team. But let's simulate the week. Let's see what happens. Is it gonna be okay? It is. So you can simulate with no quarterbacks in the NFL. That's crazy. Oh, it doesn't save any stats though. I don't know if I like that. I want to see weird players up there for MVP. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure y'all do too. So this is cool, but I forgot it doesn't show passing stats for non-quarterbacks. That's kind of lame. Yeah, not even if you go deep into the player stats and go to punt or passing for kickers. So instead, I have a better plan. This is gonna take me a minute, but let's refill out those quarterback positions. So here's what I did. I basically just moved every team's best passing non-quarterback to the quarterback position. The only one I'm iffy about is Tyree Jackson because, you know, he came out of college as a pretty okay quarterback prospect and then got moved to tight end, so I don't know if I actually want to count him, but he isn't technically a quarterback anymore, so I think it's fine. But this is kind of the way I wanted to do this, you know, to begin with. I want to see if we can turn them into, you know, legit NFL QBs. With the most interesting ones being, obviously, Tyree Jackson is the highest overall, but David Sills committed to what, USC at like 13 as a quarterback? Didn't obviously work out, but he is still in the NFL. Jelani Woods. Odell has pretty decent passing stats in Madden. And I think the worst off team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They don't have anyone higher than a 12 overall. Same with the Cowboys, I guess. And the Jags. Okay, there are a few. And the Ravens. And the Vikings. So yeah, there are definitely a few teams here that are better off than others. But alright, that's enough build up for this. Let's actually get into the simulation here. Let's get to the mid-season point, and we will see how everyone's doing. Okay, well, we are only 1-5 here as the Bengals, unfortunately, but it looks like the 49ers are 7-0. Some of the best teams right now are the Colts, it looks like, the Chiefs, go figure, Dolphins, Falcons, that's interesting. Lions and Raiders are doing well, and then it looks like some of the worst teams. I guess it would be better to go here. The Vikings are 0-7, and then the Eagles, Texans, Cowboys, and then, of course, us, the Bengals, all only have one win, which the Cowboys are maybe the most interesting, because if you've seen one of my videos before, you know how much I despise the Cowboys in this game. They are the dominant team. I'm not gonna go over the stats yet, we'll just check that at the end of the year, but let's get to the end of the year, and I'm really hoping it's one of these, I guess I can't call them quarterbacks, but new quarterbacks. I really hope one of them win MVP. I hope it's not a running back, but I guess that would be interesting too. We'll see. Okay, well, as the Bengals, we finished 6-11. I don't know why I picked the Bengals. I feel like I had a reason. I don't remember what it was though, but wow, that's interesting. Okay, let's just check the standings here. So I don't even know the last time I've seen a 17-0 team. The 49ers went undefeated. They had 625 points. Did they is Brock Purdy horrible in this game? I'm gonna assume they're gonna win MVP. I think it was Jawan Jennings, yeah. Yeah, he's probably gonna win MVP. I mean, we'll see though. But also up here were the Dolphins, Colts. They do have one of the better overall QBs here in Jelani Woods. Raiders, Falcons, Packers, and Broncos were all the 12-plus win teams. The worst teams in the league this year. Whoa. Okay, the Minnesota Vikings went 1-16, and then there was a massive gap. The next closest was the Patriots, I guess, at 5-12, but the Panthers, Eagles, Cardinals, and Titans all also went 5-12. Madden does this sometimes where simulation sucks so bad that, there's the whole saying in real life, like any given Sunday or whatever, that's cranked up to 12 in Madden, where there is legitimately a chance where if the Vikings and 49ers played here, 50% of the times the Vikings would win. So it creates weird situations where every team is just mid. I guess there were a few exceptions, but I don't know, there was only one truly horrible team this year. I guess there were a lot of amazing ones though. This was a weird simulation. That is not what I expected. But finally, let's check out the season stats for year one. Okay, Cam Taylor-Britt wasn't amazing, it looks like. Oh, okay, 3,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, that's cool. 46 interceptions. I'm gonna assume that's a record for a season. I mean, if you cut those down, this would be a pretty good year, but yeah, I don't think 46 picks is great. But it looks like that was a recurring theme. I mean, unsurprisingly, but surprisingly at the same time. Chaz Surratt had the most passing yards at 3,600, but he had 49 interceptions. Who led the league in passer rating? It was Jawan Jennings. 3,300 yards, 39 touchdown passes, 20 picks. Still, even for the best performing QB in the league. Jelani Woods was number 2, good year for him. Well, again, a lot of picks, but good here. Tyree Jackson was 3rd. David Sills also up there. Now we're getting already into quarterbacks who have more interceptions thrown than touchdowns. Only 4 had positive touchdown interception ratios, or 3. But who did the worst, at least in terms of passer rating? Trent Sherfield. This is worse than my 0 overall rebuilds. What happened? He had 2,800 yards, 7 touchdowns, 63 interceptions. Same with Shyheim Carter, it looks like. Also had 63 picks. I wonder what defensive stats are gonna look like. Wait, we're getting into whole new weird things here. This is kind of cool. There might be a player with 20 interceptions on defense. This is insane. Nelson Aguilar also had 60 picks. Hutchinson and Jeff Smith with 57. 56 for Britton Covey. The GOAT, Kadarius Toney, with 53 interceptions thrown. What a year. We're gonna save MVP for last. I want to check super quick. Already, I see Logan Wilson with 13 picks. Bobby Wagner with 16. We're averaging 9 or 10 picks if you average all these guys out. Oh, it was only 16 from Bobby Wagner. Also Fred Warner. Okay. I thought it could be a little higher, but that's still insane. Wait. I was gonna say, okay, 26 sacks. That's crazy. But I was gonna say, this could be a rare situation where we see a defensive player up there for MVP, but Madden doesn't value picks that much on defense. Even for defensive player of the year, it'll probably still go to Micah Parsons, which that is 26 is a record, but I think 16 picks is also a record. I don't remember what it is, maybe 14 by Dick Lane? I don't know. But finally, MVP. Now, you know what? I'm edging y'all. Hold on. I do want to see what the picks record is. Oh, that was a good call. 14 for Dick Lane. Wow. I cannot believe I remembered that. I don't even know the last time I thought about that. But yeah, Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner do get the interceptions record, and then Pat Surtain and Mike Sainristil, as a rookie, tied the old one. But finally now, MVP. Does it go to Jawan Jennings or a running back or even a defensive player? Whoa. It does go to Christian McCaffrey, but Micah Parsons was at number 2. I mean, realistically, maybe he should win it because, 26 sacks breaks that record too. But I was close with that prediction. Knocking out all the QBs makes interesting things happen, clearly. But the top 4 are non-QBs. The first QB is Jawan Jennings. That's a crazy sentence, but he was up there at number 5. I thought he'd be maybe top 3, but also up here are Jadeveon Clowney, TJ Watt, and Alex Highsmith. So 4 defensive players make the top 10 for MVP. Also, no QBs up here for either offensive player of the year. But best QB for the AFC goes to Jelani Woods, David Sills at 2, Stone Smart at 3, and NFC goes to Jawan Jennings, Tyree Jackson at 2, and Cedric Wilson at 3. What a first season here. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in simulation. Hands down, it is not even close. But now with this first season over, for year one, you might notice over where it says Draft Central, top need QB, it's empty. I removed all the QBs for the draft because I couldn't decide if I wanted to let these current quarterbacks develop and try to become good, which might be the right move seeing how weird this was, or if I wanted to get new rookie quarterbacks in here. So at least for this first year, we're just going to keep these QBs. We're going to say the quarterback position is banned. You have to play, you know, flex players there, like your Taysom Hills, I guess. So we're going to keep this group, like I said, and see who improves by year two. But let's get into the offseason. This Bengals team is horrible without Joe Burrow, so we're going to have some work to do here. But in the Super Bowl, it is a low-scoring game. 17-14. The 49ers win it, unsurprisingly. They go 19-0, or I guess 20-0, with Jawan Jennings now at QB. That's crazy. Before re-signings, our cap situation is horrible. We'll pick up the 5th year for Jamar Chase. I tried to clear our cap penalty from, you know, cutting Joe Burrow, but I guess that didn't do anything, so that's great. Oh yeah, why did that not do anything? Okay. All right, we still don't have money. I don't know why. I guess maybe it takes a week to update, but I already cleared it. Oh, I guess I cleared it for last year. This counts as a new year. Whatever. I'm rambling a lot, but I'm just trying to figure out what's happening here. Let me see if I can get out of this cap situation. Okay, well, restructuring Trey Hendrickson brought us up from negative 27 to positive 120 mil. That activated the cap clearing, I guess. Sure. But we'll re-sign T. Higgins. He takes it, and that's all. Let's see what we want to do in free agency. Oh, wait. Something I didn't even think about is almost every quarterback hit free agency here, and they are all asking a lot of money. David Sills is asking 53 mil. Jacoby Myers 51. I don't know if any quarterback was worth even close to that, but I guess they are the best ones, so, you know, it kind of has to happen. We might think about getting one of these guys. I mean, well, no, wait, no. I realized I just completely forgot what I literally just talked about with these quarterbacks being ridiculously expensive, so I don't think we're going to do that. We'll stick with Cam Taylor-Britt for now, but God, this is a terrible free agent class other than, well, no, I was going to say other than the QBs, but the QBs are horrible too. Yeah, there isn't really much for us to do, so let's get to the draft. Okay, well, of course, we pick at number 9. I probably should have checked, you know, like what the Vikings would do with number 1, because that's kind of interesting, but whatever. We'll check after, if I remember. We really need corner with Cam Taylor-Britt moving to QB. It's definitely a good corner class, but there were no top 5 guys. I mean, this would be an insane corner class for real life. It's just all of them are at least this good. God, Javonte McDonald looks insane. Oh, I was gonna say, how is he not a top 5 talent, but he ran a 4.49. I see. Oh, and he has D player rec, but he still looks good. I think we'll take him just because, I mean, why not? Yeah, that'll be our first pick. Hopefully like a 78, 79-ish overall. He does have hidden dev, that's kind of surprising, but 90 speed, 94 excel, that's not, the excel is good, but the speed also isn't too bad. We'll take it. And then round 2, I think we're gonna go Julian McDonald's, get on that idea ASAP, but he's really fast. I don't want to spend too much time on these drafts because, you know, this isn't really the point of the video, but I still want to make our team good. He's already 23, but whatever. He's a first round talent and we're in the second round, so that sounds good. And then last pick, we could go with another corner. I mean, we could. I mean, Jonathan Caldwell, he is also 23 already, but first round talent. He's slow, but I mean, he has good speed for some reason. A 4.51 definitely isn't good, but okay. We'll take him. 91 speed running a 4.51. I don't know about that, but we'll take it. But here's how we did in the draft. It was decent. McDonald is a 79 overall. That was a good guess. I know this game too well. McLean is a 76. Caldwell, also a 76. And then my last pick was Kyle Schmidt. He's decent. He's honestly better than I thought. I thought he would only be like a 71. He didn't look that good, but I wanted a lineman. But let's see what... Okay, so the first pick was good. Michael Pickett. Defensive ends are always the #1 pick in Madden. It's, well, I was gonna say it's never a QB, but it couldn't be a QB here. Chase Wilbur to the Patriots. Sure, he's good. The Bears decided to take one of the quarterbacks I moved to running back, who also has normal dev. I moved all the QBs to running back. It'll be pretty obvious which ones were QBs. Only 3 ended up getting taken, with 2 of them being in the first round and 1 in the second. That is definitely something. God, I think I even focus scouted Brendan Richardson. He was the highest overall player in the class at an 83. This was a really good draft class. But anyways, definitely some better picks than others. Maybe I should move the quarterbacks down on the draft board, but I mean, if there are teams taking them, then that's a skill issue. How about you don't do that? But let's get into year 2, and we'll check which quarterbacks went where, because obviously about half of them changed teams. But here's a look at the team heading into year 2. Pretty much not much has changed. I guess new center, new receiver through the draft, new good corner, I guess 2 new good corners. But more importantly, here's a look at the best quarterbacks in the league in terms of overall now. Jelani Woods is becoming decent. He went up to superstar dev, now up to a 67 overall. I mean, he wasn't really the best quarterback last year or anything. He was good relative to the other ones, but like, I don't know, Juwan Jennings was definitely better. He didn't even get superstar dev, so that's kind of crazy. David Sills looks like he got a massive contract from the Steelers. Jacoby Myers got signed by the Lions. Same with Cedric Wilson, who easily could have started for over half the teams in the league. And there were some other moves like Adam Troutman to the Chargers. The Lions also got Maurice Alexander. They're just quarterback greedy. But speaking of that, I had to make a lot of new quarterbacks because some teams were so greedy. So like the Broncos have 2 new QBs, both rookies. There are so many others. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I had to make some new ones is what I'm trying to say. But let's get into year 2, and we will see how every team's doing at the midseason once again. But here it looks like we are 5-2. It looks like the 49ers are once again 7-0. The Colts are also 6-0, so that could be the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are only 2-4, and the Ravens are 0-7. I don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I doing it this way? Here we go. The Jags are 1-6, and then there are a few 2-5 teams. And then, yeah, the 49ers, Colts, and then Steelers are the 3 best teams, with Juwan Jennings, Jelani Woods, and I don't remember who the Steelers quarterback is. Did they get a new one? Oh yeah, it's David Sills. Okay, that makes sense. But once again, we'll check the stats at the end of the year. So let's get there, and we will see who the best teams end up being this year. Damn, we've had it rough as the Bengals. We finish 8-9 this year. The 49ers almost go 17-0 back-to-back. They lost 1 game. The Colts also went 16-1. The Lions and Steelers both went 14-3. And then the Vikings, once again, were the worst team in the league, tied with the Steelers, or the Ravens. The Steelers. I don't know what's wrong with me, but Cam Taylor-Britt, once again, 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns. That's not bad, but 40 interceptions. I guess it got a little better than the 46 last year, but he's still not doing great. The most yards went to Johnny Hecker, almost 3,900. He also had 50 interceptions, though. Kadarius Toney at 2, David Sills at 3. Most touchdowns went to Juwan Jennings. He was very good, 37, and only 15 picks. Like, this would be a legit good quarterback year. Still a lot of picks, but probably the least here. The most was Devin Duvernay started for the Jaguars, but also Mark Watts, a rookie for the Broncos. Trey Wolf started for the Ravens, and N'Keal Harry started for the Vikings this year. But yeah, in terms of passer rating, Juwan Jennings, Jelani Woods, and Tyree Jackson did the best. Also, Jacoby Myers, David Sills, and then worst was Shane Lemieux, who started for the Saints. I don't know why he has, like, okay-ish, not even okay passing stats, but better than 0. He must have played quarterback at some point in high school or something, I don't know. But will we see a quarterback MVP? If anyone, it's probably going to be Juwan Jennings, but then again, he only had 3,100 yards. He did have the touchdowns, though. I guess it could be Sills, but more than likely, I think this is going to be another running back MVP. Or maybe a defensive player. Nobody broke the sack record this year, but a lot got close. And Joey Porter led the league with 15 picks, 14 for Paulson Adebo and Tyson Campbell. But MVP does go to Jonathan Taylor. Jelani Woods at number 2, though. That's interesting. Juwan Jennings at 5 once again. Tyree Jackson at 6. Low-key, let Juwan Jennings cook. I guess Christian McCaffrey did well too, but if Jennings had more passing attempts, he probably would have won MVP. But best QB for the AFC goes to Jelani Woods, and NFC goes to Juwan Jennings. Oh yeah, and I guess I maybe should have checked defensive, like all the other awards and stats, but Javonte McDonald got Defensive Rookie of the Year in Superstar Dev, so that's cool. But in the Super Bowl, the Packers beat the Steelers 21-14. What was the Packers' record? 10-7, they were pretty good. Who was their QB? Tyler Davis, who wasn't good, but I guess he wasn't the worst. God, 7 touchdowns, 63 interceptions is still insane to me. You will only find that on the Brandon the Simp channel. But let's get into the offseason here. I think I'm going to be a little more team focused here. I want to make this Bengals team good, and I want to get one of these good QBs if possible. I know they're expensive, but we'll see, because Cam Taylor-Britt isn't really getting it done. But I guess we'll pick up the 5th year for Dax Hill. He's only a 77 overall. Mike Hilton, also I'm iffy about about because he's 31, but we'll offer him 2 years, 16. He takes it. And then everyone else is a bunch of depth, so let's see what we can do in free agency. And let's see if any good QBs hit the open market. I say good, but you know what I mean. Okay, it's an all right free agent class, but nobody's interested in us. I mean, I guess a couple players are, but not many. The 49ers let Juwan Jennings go. Maybe they couldn't afford him. He's asking almost 60 mil. Okay, that kind of makes sense, but I'm thinking about that because I mean this is the best quarterback in the league right here. That is a lot of money though for a 59 overall player. Well, obviously, but still just in general, even for the best QB in the league, almost 60 mil's crazy, which he isn't even the highest overall or really close. Jelani Woods is like a 74. Is Jelani Woods gonna get like 70 mil per year? He might have already been re-signed. No, he's coming down to it though, so we'll see who signs him. I doubt the Colts can afford him, but yeah, we'll try to get Juwan Jennings. I think it's worth it. And then that's about all we can do. I guess I can restructure some deals. Let me see. This is the weirdest rebuild I've ever done. This is up there. Okay, well, I just restructured everyone for no reason. There isn't really anyone else I want here. Like, we don't need a corner. We don't need a receiver. We just don't really need anyone here. So I don't know why I did that. The thing I really want is maybe a lineman, but nobody's interested, or we just can't afford them. So, or both. So we can't really do that. Honestly, what if we don't get Juwan Jennings? Because the Cardinals are also interested. I mean, we'll just sign a bunch of other players if we don't, but Juwan Jennings, do you want to sign? He signs with us. Okay, cool. I honestly didn't think he would, but we do get him, so that's huge. But here the Vikings, of course, pick at number 1 again. We pick at 15. I wonder which team is going to take one of the former quarterbacks here. It is the Vikings with the number 1 pick. First of all, you just shouldn't take a running back number 1 regardless, but he's going to be like a 36 overall. Good job, Vikings. Ooh. Okay, this guy's really similar to the corner we took last year. All A ratings, but his speed isn't very good. But it says good speed. I guess he ran a 4.44 at his pro day. That's pretty good, but a 4.51 at the combine, that isn't great, obviously. For a corner, at least. I don't know if we're gonna take him. We really don't need another corner. We're like 5 deep with decent players. But I don't know what else we would do here. Brandon Adams is really interesting. He ran a 4.96 and had 43 bench reps. This might be one of the best combine performances ever, maybe the best, at least for those 2 stats. He's not supposed to go until the 2nd to 3rd though. I mean, I just don't really want Levi Bryan, so I guess we'll just take him. Brandon Adams, welcome to the team. Hidden dev, 96 strength, 72 speed, 80 excel, sounds good. And here let's go with a defensive end. Let's go with Simon Richards. We really don't need a defensive end that bad because we have Miles Murphy, but we'll need a 3rd guy for when we cut Sam Hubbard because he's kind of expensive. So we'll go with Simon Richards, normal dev, but another very good athlete, 79 speed, 87 excel, 84 jumping, 88 strength. We'll take it. And last pick, I want a defensive tackle, but none of them look that good. All of them have pretty major flaws. I guess we'll go with Brandon Vincent. It doesn't really matter. Or Brendan Vincent, sure. But here's how we did in the draft. It was interesting. Brandon Adams, now I'm getting confused. 78 overall, that was definitely worth it. Technically a reach based on where he was supposed to go, but he's worth it. Simon Richards is a 76. I wish he had a dev trait, but he's still good. And then Brendan Vincent isn't very good. He's only a 71. The CPU took a really good linebacker, though. Ramon Graham. I couldn't read that name for a second. I don't know why. But hidden dev, he looks good. And yeah, 3 of the top 5 picks were, or 2 of the top 3 picks, were just kind of thrown away. I mean, unless Christian Marshall has like X Factor or something, I guess that could work, but it's going to be a long shot there. But here's a look at our team heading into year 3. We, of course, now have one of the best quarterbacks in Juwan Jennings, but he was, of course, the only free agent we added. Everyone else is pretty much the same, other than the players we drafted, of course, but y'all saw that already. Let's see what other quarterbacks changed teams, actually. Really not many. Cedric Wilson went to the Jags, but he's the highest overall one that changed teams. Tyler Davis to the Cowboys, Maurice Alexander to the Cardinals. Oh yeah, also Odell is still around as a QB. The Cardinals replaced Garrett Williams. Garrett Williams was, not good, but this was like one of the better seasons. Maurice Alexander was kind of horrible when he played, but all right, if that's what you want to do. But let's get to the midseason point of year 3, and we will see what happens this year. Okay, well, we are only 3-3 3 at the midseason. I'm kind of surprised about that because we started out with a 54-9 win over the Bills. We actually started 3-1, and then we lost the last 2 to the Vikings. One of them was. That's tough. We'll see how we finish, though. I thought we would do really well. We're just doing mid. I mean, we have a pretty decent roster and, like, the best quarterback in the league, or one of them at least. But it is what it is. It's more of a league experiment anyways. But it looks like the Colts are the best team this year at 7-0. The Seahawks are 5-1. Dolphins and Chiefs are 6-1. The 49ers are still 4-3 despite losing what was maybe the best quarterback in the league. So they're doing fine. And the worst teams are the Browns, Steelers, Titans, and Patriots, all with only 1 win. But we actually have some big re-signings this year. I already saw these. It's rough. We have to re-sign Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson, Zach Moss, Geno Stone, Von Bell if we want, Mike Gesicki if we want, Jermaine Pratt, Sam Hubbard, Alex Kappa, Trent Brown. It isn't easy. But we'll start with Jamar Chase, 4 years, 124 mil. He takes it. Trey Hendrickson, 3 years, 77 mil. He takes it. And then I guess Geno Stone, who only has normal dev here still. We'll go 4 years, 63 mil though, and he takes it. And that's about all we can do. We're down to 6.7 mil. We'll restructure a ton of deals at the end of the year, but I doubt we're going to be able to bring all these players back. But I think that'll be fine. We can find other options. And we already have some replacements on the roster. But let's get to the end of year 3 and we will see, well, we're going to see a lot of things, but we will maybe most importantly see if one of these makeshift quarterbacks can finally win MVP. We will see. Okay, well, actually, before I reveal what happened this year, I almost forgot, but be sure to leave a like on the video. Again, 3,000 likes. I don't even remember what I promised that I would do. Oh yeah, I said I would do this, but more extreme. So if you wanna see a more insane version of this video, again, 3,000 likes and I will do it. Subscribe for more, because this is all I do. Let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all have down below. And last thing, question of the day. This is an interesting one. I was gonna ask this in the last one, but I just couldn't remember for some reason. But let me know this down in the comments. Who is the most random NFL player you can name? My answer isn't that random, because he was like an actual good player and didn't play that long ago, but Bilal Nichols, the Jets running back. I don't know, that name just randomly popped into my mind. Again, not the most random, because he was pretty good, but I hadn't thought about him in a long time. I'm sure y'all will have a lot more niche answers, maybe some that I don't know if they're old enough, but yeah, let me know whatever random player you can think of down in the comments. You can name a lot if you want. But anyways, in year number 3, we finished 9-8 and finally made the playoffs for the first time. Still didn't win the division. The Ravens went 10-7, but at least we're in the playoffs. And the Dolphins finished as the number 1 team at 15-2. The Colts also went 15-2. The Lions and Chiefs went 14-3, and then the Giants and Seahawks went 13-4. I wonder who the Seahawks quarterback was. It was Ty Okada, a safety, but that could have changed. We'll see. And then the worst team was the Tennessee Titans at 3-14. The Browns and Broncos went 4-13. Unlucky for them. But let's check out some of the stats. Juwan Jennings was honestly okay, but the picks are coming back for him. He only had, what, 15 last year, 23 this year. He did have more yards, were a more pass-heavy offense. Good amount of touchdowns, but still a lot of picks. But let's check out the rest of the NFL. Oh, Kadarius Toney had the most yards with 4,400. He honestly had the most by a lot. I was gonna say, with how good that Chiefs offensive playbook is, I was surprised he wasn't doing better, but now he finally is. He cut his interceptions down from 55 to 30. 30's still an insane amount, but he does have X Factor. I don't know how he got it, because he's been doing horribly, but sure. He also had the most passing touchdowns, but it looks like Jelani Woods had the best year. He was legitimately, like, great, even by regular NFL standards. 3,500 yards, which is okay, but 36 touchdowns, only 8 picks, 114 passer rating. Juwan Jennings was 3rd for passer rating. Tyree Jackson was 4th. I guess Jackson isn't descriptive enough. Julian Hill was 5th for the Dolphins. Stone Smart, Tutu Atwell. We're finally getting more players with positive touchdown interception ratios. Braden Willis was the starter for the 49ers this year, and he was all right. Who was the Seahawks starter? Kenny McIntosh. That is interesting. But this is the first year where we could see an MVP. It would obviously be Jelani Woods, but it's probably going to be like Jonathan Taylor. No, it is finally Jelani Woods, thankfully. Jonathan Taylor was 2nd, Kenneth Walker at 3, Rashawn Gary at 4, Joey Bosa at 5. A lot of defensive players up here. Only one quarterback up here in Jelani Woods, which that's a crazy sentence, but imagine seeing this list for MVP out of context. This is a hell of a screenshot right here. No real life quarterbacks and Jelani Woods wins MVP. That's crazy. He was also up there at 7 for AFC Offensive Player of the Year. No quarterbacks for NFC, but AFC Best QB obviously goes to Jelani Woods, Tony at 2, Hill at 3, and then NFC goes to Tyree Jackson, which it's still debatable if he should count, because, you know, he was a quarterback. It's kind of like moving Felipe Franks or Logan Thomas back to quarterback, like they were an NFL backup quarterback at one point, but whatever. But of course, we are going to be taking on the Chiefs in the wild card. They're still an 87 overall despite losing Patrick Mahomes. That's insane. I guess we're still in 84, which isn't too far off, but still. But let's simulate this game. I guess it doesn't really matter too much if we lose, but I don't know about that. We beat the Chiefs 24-6. We also get an upgrade for Juwan Jennings, now up to a 68, getting closer to a 69. I'm very mature, by the way. He's playing up to 99 medium accuracy. Still 46 deep accuracy, though, with the +1 morale. Those are some interesting stats. 42 play action. That is something. But he does get revenge on his former... No, wait, we're not playing the 49ers. That was the Chiefs. Never mind. Both red, I guess. But now we're going to be taking on, what, Julian Hill and the Dolphins? Yeah. The Dolphins have a 91 overall defense, by the way. I guess there are probably a lot of good overall defenses because they've been developing from getting so many interceptions, is my guess. I bet there are like 12 99 overall corners. Nope, there are 0. Never mind. But there are a lot of 90 pluses. But anyways, let's see if we can take down the Dolphins. We do. We win 17-10. We're just going through the gauntlet here. Now we're playing the Colts. We have played 3 of the 4 best teams in the league this year. That's great. Just through these 3 games. So let's see if we can take down MVP Jelani Woods in the Colts. No. Okay, so we destroy the 49ers, beat the Dolphins in a close, low-scoring game, and then we get beat by 38 points in the conference championship. Interesting. And the Colts do go on to win the Super Bowl against the 49ers, 21-14. Oh, and once again, it looks like we won Defensive Rookie of the Year without me even checking. Simon Richards went straight from normal to superstar. That's crazy. He had 16 sacks, 16 TFLs, 69 tackles. Nice. But let's get into the final year here, and we are gonna have to figure something out with our cap space. Let me once again restructure every deal. We should be able to restructure a lot from the Juwan Jennings deal, because it is such a massive one. Yeah, I thought it would be more, but 12.3 is still pretty good. Okay, well, we now have 51 mil to work with. For Zach Moss, he isn't interested, plus he's been kind of horrible. I mean, 1,000 yards, cool, but 3.6 per carry. He's just getting a lot of carries. So I'm good. Honestly, Mike Gesicki got superstar. That's interesting, but also he isn't interested, so I'm not interested. Why did he get superstar? He wasn't that good. I mean, he was fine. He was good. Honestly, what if I don't really want anyone here back? Well, how's Trent Brown been? We do have Amarius Mims, though. Oh, no. Yeah, Amarius Mims, welcome to the starting lineup. I normally check the stats a lot more in regular rebuilds, obviously, but maybe I should have been here, because that would have been a problem I addressed long ago if I had known. But I'm just gonna let everyone here go. I mean, it's all older players, so let's see what we can do in free agency. We could bring some of them back, but we'll see. Ooh, also Juwan Jennings went up to X Factor. That's huge. But here's what we are gonna try to do in free agency. We're gonna go for some decent players. Travis Etienne, Travis Kelce, Joe Thuney, and Eric Armstead. It's not the craziest free agent class ever, but it's decent. But a lot of the players we really don't need. I mean, it is a lot of receivers, and we don't need another one. But it is a very good receiver free agent class. But let's see if we can sign these players. Hopefully we get all of them. We don't really need Armstead or Thuney, because I think we're going to draft a guard, but it would be nice, and we do probably need these two. But let's see who we can get. Okay, we get Kelce and Thuney. We're not going to get Etienne or Armstead. All right, David Montgomery. I'll even go player friendly just to... Ooh, wait, Derrick Henry's here. I know he's old, but overall regression doesn't really affect play at all in this game for whatever reason. Well, it's because overall doesn't matter. Yeah, let's go for Derrick Henry. Why not? And Grady Jarrett. Let's see if they want to sign, and they do. So not the original 4 players we went for, but maybe better ones. We'll see. But let's get into the final draft here, and we will see what we want to do. But in the draft, we pick at 29. The Titans have the #1 pick this this year, of course. And there is a top 5 talent guard. I mean, we don't need him. This is kind of a similar guard to one I took in the last video, I think, where he's a pass protector that doesn't look that good, but his pass blocking stats must just be insane, is my guess. I do want to check the safeties really quick, though, because that's a bigger need. Oh, yeah, I already looked. None of them were that good. So we'll go Devontae Parks out of LSU. Of course, normal dev. This might be the best overall offensive lineman I've ever seen with normal dev. Unlucky. Because he'll probably be, what, like an 80? I thought this dude was named Adonis Graham. That would have been insane, but close. I think last pick, I'm going to go to Sean Ridley. Actually, who's a better run defender? He has C tackle, A to C hit power. Zach Riddick has C tackle. Okay, well, that's not helpful. We'll go with Ridley. He'll play safety, maybe? I don't know. We don't really need anything too bad, so I'm just trying to take, like, the best players I could find. He does have hidden dev, really, he had hidden dev, but the guard didn't. That's, like, the opposite of what I would have expected. Did I say that sentence right? I don't know. I woke up, like, 20 minutes ago. I feel like I skipped letters, not even words. I feel like I don't know. And then last pick, this dude is really interesting. He ran a 4.8 at defensive tackle at 304 pounds, but he's listed as a run stopper, but he was 21st in bench press with 30, which 30, that's not bad, but in Madden, that's pretty bad. I mean, I guess it's still solid strength. I don't know, it's just weird to me that he's a run defender with such good speed and such below average strength. I don't know what else to do here, so we'll take him. And he has normal, I don't understand this game. Whatever. Oh, this might be the worst draft class I've ever had in terms of what I expected versus what it actually is. Devontae Parks, that's pretty close to what I expected. I thought he would be like an 80, but he's only a 79. That's fine. But he also doesn't have a dev trait. But Deshaun Ridley's only a 74? What did I miss? I mean, oh, he has 68 man, so I'm guessing it was a C or I don't know if it could have been a D. I think it was A to C. Maybe. I don't know. Well, good thing that's not gonna matter because we'll put him at free safety, 76 zone. Sure. He'll be our deep safety. No, he probably won't even play. Whatever. And then Del Peoples is only a 71. I tried. I did. I really don't see what's too bad about him, though. I mean, I guess he's just not great at anything other than, well, he is super fast, but whatever. Who cares? The CPU picked a good linebacker, 74 overall Josh Malone. We'll take it. A blocking tight end and a slot receiver. It did all the things I like to look for. But let's get into the final year here, and we will see what happens. But here's a look at our team heading into year 4. You know, we're decent. We're still an 84 overall. I think that's what we were last year. But, you know, we have a pretty good roster. I might start Mike Hilton at safety. Just because he's an 81 there, I guess an 83 with morale. That works. Sure, why not? But yeah, we're looking really good. I haven't really shown the team much because this is a more experiment type video than a rebuild type video, but this is a decent team. It's pretty good. But let's see who some of the starting QBs are going to be this year. There were a decent amount in free agency once again. Jelani Woods is the highest overall, now up to an 85 with X Factor. His stats are just as ridiculous as anyone else's. I mean, it's obviously developing them all as scramblers. I honestly bet they're all scramblers. No, oh, Tyree Jackson was an actual quarterback, so that makes sense. And it looks like the Colts did pay Jelani Woods. It looks like he got a massive deal. What? He's gonna be making $97 million in 2030. Oh, I mean, he's been good, but I would pass on that. But I think every other team is the same, or every other quarterback is on the same team still. Armani Rogers went to the Steelers. I guess he'll be their starter. Julian Hill to the Falcons, and he didn't get signed. He just got a cheap deal, even though he was pretty good for the Dolphins. Oh, he's not even gonna start. They have Troy Anderson and Cedric Wilson. I kind of don't like that some teams did this. I wish the quarterbacks were more spread out here, because there are some teams that don't have any. Like the Panthers don't even have one, and the Ravens have 112 overall. We'll give them some new QBs. I doubt there are any in free agency. The Panthers signed Cam Taylor-Britt, so we'll move him back to QB. This is the weirdest rebuild I've ever done. But let's get into the final year here. Let's just get straight to the end of the season, and we will see what happens in the final season. But here we are at the end of year 4, and again, y'all know the drill if you haven't already. maybe 3,000 likes and I'll do a more chaotic version of this, and subscribe for more. And that's all I'm gonna say. But we are now up to an 86 overall after year 4, and in year 4, we finished 10-7 and we made the playoffs. Maybe should have been better, because I bet an 86 is up there for the best team. Oh, the Lions have an 88, and the 49ers. Maybe it's not as good as I expected. And the Chiefs, and then the Steelers have an 86 too, so we're like tied for 4th, which, you know, that still should maybe be better than 10-7, but whatever. But Juwan Jennings this year, 4,200 yards, 36 touchdowns, 16 picks. He was very good. Better than last year. Last year, I was wondering if signing him was a mistake. I mean, he was still good, but not as good as he was for the 49ers. But this year, he was about as good as he was for the 49ers. Maybe better, because he had a lot more yards, more attempts. But for the rest of the league, Juwan Jennings almost had the most passing touchdowns. He was tied for second. The most went to Kadarius Toney. He also threw 35 interceptions, but he did have the most touchdowns. Jennings also had the most yards, though, so that's good. But it looks like Jelani Woods probably did the best. I mean, I guess he had 1,000 less yards than Juwan Jennings, but he also did have 11 less picks, so it was close, I guess. But Marte Mapu was also up here. That's a first. David Sills, Odell, who also threw 47 picks. Stone Smart was pretty good. Jacoby Myers did well. Tyree Jackson was okay. And who did the worst? Darius Rush, at least in terms of passer rating. It looks like he played maybe a quarter of a season or a third. Definitely more like a quarter. But he still managed to throw 23 interceptions. I wonder if he got benched or if someone else got benched for him. I would hope he's the one who got benched, because James Prochet wasn't great, but he did a lot better. But the worst full-time starter was Greg Burton for the Ravens. 2,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, 63 interceptions. What a stat line. Okay, hold on. I want to bring up an interesting point here. Is there a maximum? Is there a max for interceptions thrown? We have not seen over 63 in a year. I'm wondering if you get to 63 interceptions, does it just cap? Like it doesn't let any more get thrown? That's interesting. I mean, that has to be what's happening, right? Because there are 5 this year that had 63, and we haven't seen anyone go over that. That's really, really weird. But I guess that's probably what's happening. So these guys could have like 70, 80 something. We just wouldn't know. But finally, let's check MVP here. And it does go to Jelani Woods again. It's the rest of the usual guys up here too. Juwan Jennings at 7. I'm kind of surprised he wasn't higher, but Stone Smart at 8 or 9. Jelani Woods at 4 for Offensive Player of the Year for the AFC. And then he, of course, wins AFC Offensive Player of the Year, or Best QB. Stone Smart at 2, Juwan Jennings at 3, David Sills, and then Chaz Surratt. Kadarius Toney all the way down at 7. I guess that makes sense because he had, 35 interceptions? And then NFC goes to Jacoby Myers. Interesting. Tyree Jackson at 2, Braden Willis at 3, Troy Anderson at 4, and Jalen Reeves-Maybin at 5. This is, I know I've said this a million times, but this has been the weirdest rebuild I've ever done. I mean, I thought some players could become good, but there are a few like Juwan Jennings, and then obviously Jelani Woods, who have become legitimately really good. Jelani Woods is playing up to a 90 overall with morale. Oh yeah, and I want to check one last thing. This is the last stat we're going to look at. There were still an insane amount of interceptions this year. I thought they would gradually go down, but there's still 12 overalls starting, so they didn't. So let's check some of the defensive stats. Okay, the numbers there are going down, but still very high. The most was George Wilder for the Titans. Looks like a good player, but he had 13 interceptions. Fred Warner and Jair Alexander also had 12. But that's all the stat looking we're gonna do. I doubt we'll make it to the Super Bowl. I will say I did change our defensive playbook to the Bills. That's my go-to 4-3 defense, because our defense was pretty terrible. I know it isn't the best on paper, but it's an 85. I feel like it shouldn't be the 8th worst or 9th worst. We very well should win this game, though. We're an 86 to the Bills' 81, but you never know with this game. Okay, we do win, 41-25. If we lost, I would still check who won the Super Bowl, though, obviously. But now we're probably facing the Super Bowl winner here. We have a ton of upgrades, which is a good thing, because we're going to need them against Jelani Woods and the Indianapolis Colts. This is going to be tough. But we have a hot opponent scenario. We'll go be confident, even though I'm not. And let's see. Oh, they have the #1 offense. Great. Let's see if we can beat the Colts. I kind of hope we don't, in a way. We don't, because I want to see the Colts win another Super Bowl here. I want to see Jelani Woods, cement himself as, even compared to real-life quarterbacks, I want to see him, prove himself as one of the best. But in the conference championship, it's going to be them against the Chargers at 16-1. Oh yeah, I never checked the standings. They both went 16-1. The Lions and 49ers, who are the NFC Conference Championship teams, they both went 13-4. And then the Steelers, Giants, and Packers went 12-5. And the worst teams were the Browns at 2-15, and then the Broncos, Cardinals, and Ravens at 3-14. I think most of those teams had 12 overall QBs, so that makes sense. But let's see who's gonna meet in the Super Bowl this year. It is gonna be the Colts against the 49ers. The Colts absolutely destroyed the Chargers here, and the 49ers won a very low-scoring game against the Lions. I want to see who beat the Colts, because they were 16-1. It was the Chiefs. Okay, that makes sense. I'm surprised it wasn't the Cowboys. But this has been an insane, insane idea. I know I say this a lot, but this might be the most fun I've had doing a rebuild in a long time, just because it's so different and interesting. But let's see if the Colts can win another Super Bowl here. And they do. They beat the 49ers 21-14. If we win a couple more years, I mean, Jelani Woods could be a 99 overall. He developed 2 overall in the last, 4 games just through the playoffs here. He is a monster. Also, Stone Smart is the second highest overall QB. That's interesting, at a 76. I guess so is Tyree Jackson. And then Jawan Jennings ended up at a 72 overall. So these guys definitely developed into legitimate, passable overall QBs for most of them, but Jelani Woods is just different, I guess. But this was a ton of fun. Again, for the millionth time, 3,000 likes and I will do something very similar to this, but more chaotic. Let me know any fun ideas y'all have down below. Subscribe for more, and with that, I will see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.